there, fellow Christmas celebrators. Today we're going to talk about the best Christmas movies to watch to get you into that Christmas spirit. And I'm not going to include the Hallmark movies or the made-for-TV movies. I'm looking at movies that were out in the movie theaters for you to enjoy. And all these you can get on DVD, you can download them, you can stream them somewhere, so they are available to watch. And so what I want to do is kind of give you a list of some of my favorites that really get me into the Christmas spirit, okay? And I'm going to start off with some comedies. And the first one, and my personal favorite, if you can't tell from my shirt and my background here, is A Christmas Story. And Gene Shepard is based on his book, and basically it's his recollection of growing up in the 40s, right? And it was filmed in the early 80s, actually, and it's set in Indiana, but surprise, it was actually filmed in Cleveland. There's actually a house in Cleveland you can go to. You can go to the Christmas Story house. You can even spend the night in the Christmas Story house. It's pretty crazy, but the thing is it's all about Ralphie and his trying to get his Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas and all the adventures that go along with it, with, yes, the leg lamp that his dad wins and all kinds of stuff. But this one is a real family-friendly movie that everybody can watch. And if you're not from the U.S., what you might not know is there's a TV channel that plays it for 24 hours straight before Christmas, okay? Now, our next Christmas comedy is Elf. This is a fantastic movie, fun for all ages. Basically, what it is Buddy the elf isn't really an elf. Buddy finds out he's really a human, and it's his adventures going to New York City to meet his human dad. And all the insanity and all the sugar consumption you can imagine happens. It is one of those things that really brings out the Christmas spirit in you, but also brings out the Christmas laugh. Now, the third comedy I want to talk about is Home Alone, okay? Home Alone, Kevin McAllister, the poor kid, his parents and his family and his uncles and the family, they all leave and they forget him and leave him home alone. And he has to defend his home against the wet bandits and all his adventures of being home alone and realizing that family is important, but also he needs to protect his house versus his family do come home. And it is a Christmas classic that people love. Macaulay Culkin's biggest role ever that really put him everywhere. You had people doing that to the poor guy, probably still gets it to this day, but Home Alone is definitely a Christmas movie you have to see. And then the fourth Christmas comedy I like to talk about is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Chevy Chase stars as Clark W. Griswold in one of his other family adventures. There's multiple movies in the series, but the Christmas one is probably the most famous and most loved. And it's his adventures of trying to host the best Christmas ever for his whole family, his in-laws, his outlaws, his family, everybody, and his adventures along the way. And sometimes there's trouble, but there's always hilarity. So that's another one I really think. Now, going from the comedies, now I want to talk about some classics you should watch. One that I watch with my family every year is White Christmas. And this is with Bing Crosby. And basically what it is Bing Crosby and Jenny Kay, it's Wallace and Davis. And they're basically these two entertainers, and they eventually end up in Vermont on it. They get to Vermont, basically. I don't want to ruin the story for you. And they find that their old general from the World War II, he's running an inn in Vermont, and it's their story of putting on a production there during Christmas time. And it's just a really wonderful movie. Great musical numbers that are in it, well worth seeing. Another classic one that's kind of similar is with Bing Crosby, and it could almost be like a part two or an alternate reality version of it, I guess, would be Holiday Inn. Okay, Holiday Inn is another great Christmas classic you can watch. There's also Miracle on 34th Street, where Chris brings back the joy and Christmas happiness to a little girl who maybe had lost her Christmas joy, and Chris takes over being a department store Santa and all the things that are there. And then he gets arrested and sued, saying that he's not Santa, and then they have to prove in court that he is Santa. I won't ruin it for you at the end, but it is a Christmas classic. And then there is It's a Wonderful Life. This, every time a bell rings, an angel gets their wings. What happens in this movie is basically, guy wishes, he is like, the world would be better without me. And an angel comes and says, okay, let's see what the world's like without you. And he learns to appreciate everything he has and all the blessings he has. And he's so thankful afterwards that you'll see the memes of it all over the internet during the holiday season. But honestly, It's a Wonderful Life. It's become a Christmas classic, where it's funny because it was not a popular movie when it first came out, but now it is all over the place. Now, next on my list is actually a lot of different movies put together because it's all based on A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. the three Christmas ghosts, the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, the ghost of Christmas future. There's a lot of different versions of it, okay? It's from the 40s, the 80s, the 2000s. I mean, if you want it animated, if you want it real life, if you want it set in the 80s in a updated 80s version, Scrooge with Bill Murray is probably my personal favorite. I mean, heck, they even made a Disney version of it, like with Mickey Mouse for a TV special, okay? So there's a lot of different versions of it. And basically you have Ebenezer Scrooge, who's bah humbug, no goodwill towards men, bah humbug. And the ghosts show him the true meaning of Christmas, and it changes his heart. And this is a definite Christmas classic, always good to watch because it shows how we can all be redeemed in the Christmas season, okay? Now, moving on to another movie that has actually had a couple versions of it and a TV special and actually started out as a book is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Okay, so How the Grinch Stole Christmas is a book from Dr. Seuss, a kid's book thing. And then it was made into a TV special back in the day. And it became so popular, they made a live action version of it in the early 2000s with Jim Carrey. You can watch that one, which is actually a fun movie to watch, though my younger kids were a little scared of that one. So they like to watch the newer, The Grinch one, which is an animated version of it, which is a long form movie versus the TV special. But there's all kinds of different ones. So you can see it's even the Grinchiest Grinch that's out there. Giving and the Christmas spirit can help them grow and become better people and have a wonderful Christmas. So there's that. And then I think there's another kind of claymation looking animation one, which is a little different. The Nightmare Before Christmas. Tim Burton made this kind of stop motion Christmas story based with Jack Skellington. Basically, he would be the Santa Claus of Halloween. And he decided, well, I don't want to have Halloween. I want to try Christmas. And it's everything you'd imagine Halloween getting smashed up with Christmas with Tim Burton's crazy vision and crazy, claymation-y kind of stuff. It's a fun movie to watch. Be a little scary for the little ones, but it's still a good Christmas watch. Now, the last Christmas movie on our list is probably the most controversial because some people think that it's not a Christmas movie, and some people feel that Christmas doesn't start until Hans Gruber falls from Nakatomi Plaza to his doom. And of course, I'm talking about Die Hard. This is an action movie that's set during a Christmas party. John McClane, Bruce Willis stars as John McClane, who's going in and trying to, it's a Christmas party for his wife, or that they're not having really, they're having some issues, but he's going there to I'm trying to be better. And then while he's there, all these, terrorists come in and they basically take everyone for ransom. They're trying to get all this money and they're going to blow it up. And so it's John McClane, Bruce Willis, taking out the terrorists while saving his wife and the rest of the people she works with to celebrate Christmas together. Now, not everyone sees the Christmas side of it, but remember, it's based on a Christmas party. So you have that. But these are just some Christmas movies that I really enjoy. And I think if you're looking for some Christmas viewing, these are Christmas movies you might enjoy as well. So whether you like the classics like White Christmas or the new classics like A Christmas Story or something a little more edgy, like Die Hard. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and you enjoy and wrap up with some hot cocoa and watch those movies with your family. Bye.